Now, when a couple decides to divorce, each partner will now leave the marriage with a property equivalent to their individual contribution in the union. This is the ruling of the Supreme Court of Kenya. This effectively means that spouses are not automatically entitled to half of matrimonial property upon the split. Here are the details of the ruling made by a 5-judge bench that will henceforth act as guidelines for distribution of matrimonial property between divorced spouses. Melissa Odor with details of that ruling.
The ruling was made in response to a petition at the Supreme Court from a divorce dispute between Joseph Ombogi Ogentoto and his ex-wife Martha Bosibori, settling one of the contentious issues in the country's family law. Ogentoto took the matter to the Supreme Court after the Court of Appeal ordered that the Embakasi house in which he had lived with his ex-wife of 18 years and the rental units be equally shared between them on a 50-50 ratio. Whilst acknowledging the provision of the law on equitable share of matrimonial property rights, the 5-judge bench stated that divorced spouses can only lay claim on the property they brought into the marriage. The bench, led by Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, also held that each partner in marriage must prove his or her contribution to the family wealth to enable a court to determine the percentage available to him or her at distribution of the matrimonial property. Now, in its ruling, the appellate court had stated that the divorced wife was to receive 30% of the residential house and 20% of a rental property in Embakasi. However, the aggrieved complainant argued that the wife did not have any monetary contribution towards the property in question, hence did not warrant an absolute 50% share. Henceforth, spouses will have to prove their contribution to the matrimonial property a must, as opposed to the assumption that one is entitled to a 50% share. To that effect, spouses will only leave with the property they helped raise after the dissolution of their union. The court said that the test to determine the extent of contribution of a party is one of a case-to-case basis. Now, the decision today is expected to give shape to legal squabbles between ex-husbands and ex-wives on splitting of wealth after the collapse of their marriages. The Law Society of Kenya (LSK) and the Federation of Women Lawyers (FIDA) were enjoined in the case. For Hope TV News Watch, I'm Melissa Odor.